Good morning. Welcome to today's live stream. Super pumped that you're here. My name's Tyler if you're here for the first time. And if you're here for the first time, I'm going to be navigating you through the wild world of day trading futures. We're going to be sharing my daily trading bias. We're going to be giving you a front row receipt to all the live trades that we take here on stream. It's going to be a good time. It's quite an interesting candle that I'm looking at on the daily chart right here. And as you can see, we have a daily candles opening here and running all the way up here. So going to be quite interesting today. But yeah, let's go ahead and open in prayer. Before we do that, if you are looking to take your trading to the next level, you can use the code DTJ to get anywhere from 50 to 90% off your next Apex eval account. You can use the code DTJ for that. I'll drop that in the chat for you guys to check out. And with that, let's open in prayer. Father, we honor you this morning. Thank you for another week. Thank you for the opportunity to trade. Thank you for the opportunity to build wealth. And just the nation we have of America to be able to pursue our dreams. Lord, we just honor you in that, and we thank you for the opportunity we have, and we understand with opportunity comes great responsibility. And Father, we choose to take that responsibility with integrity and with the right mindset moving forward. Father, we honor you in Jesus' name. Amen. Good morning, Patrick, Ricardo, Ty, Tony, T-Loff. Good morning. We're going to have a good day today. We are already 5 minutes till open. So we're not going to be able to get everything that I want covered pre-market, but and I was having issues getting everything set up and rocking and rolling this morning. Modern Sacred Scripture. Interesting. New name. Welcome. Good morning. Glad you're here. But we're going to go ahead and get things started this morning. Ultimately, I can tell you right now I'm looking for shorts just from where the candle began to where it is now, considering we have a bearish breaker sitting right here on the daily chart. You can easily see that being a bearish order block, I should say. That's a bearish order block. You go to the 4-hour, we just covered the swing low right there. That's the data low from that candle, and we've just covered that. And I'm not even, look at that tap right there. Oh yeah. So down, I'm looking for shorts. That's the easy answer. Would like to see maybe it come back up to right here. We'll see if it wants to do that. But let's go ahead, and that's the 30-second chart. Let's see where we open this morning. And let me make sure I got everything set up. So we got 4 minutes. Breaker right here. We've already hit it once. We'll see if it wants to hit it again. We swept liquidity right here with that candle. Still just, I need to get set up here. That's what that I'm working on right now. So if I miss the 930 model, I'll miss the 930. We'll see if it gives it to me or not. But for sure looking for shorts. How we react on the open, I'm not quite sure. Let's look at, do we have what we have for news this morning? Got 2 minutes till open. Today is no news day. Tuesday, we got Fed Powell testifies at 10 a.m. We have core CPI on Wednesday. We got CPI on Thursday. Oh no. We got PPI on Thursday. And Friday, we got core retail sales. So today's the only technical day that we aren't with no news. I mean, I am going to probably take the 930 model regardless, just knowing the condition. We swept this high. We tapped the breaker. With 30 seconds left. I'm sorry. I got to take a short even though that's a micro contract. Let's see here. Yeah, we already opened. We'll let that open and do its thing. I don't even know if I can get that on screen yet. I'm going to see where this closes in the next 15 seconds. I'm assuming these are just wicks to then move lower. That's really what I'm looking at for it to move lower. I will move my stop to break even once we hit that low. If we can get there. All right, stop's going to be moved to break even on this trade. Might get stopped out here. Let's see if this order block right here holds. There we go. Come on. I'll go ahead and close that for right now. I'm still not all set up on everything, so that's why I was... There we go. I closed my trade. It's still a valid trade, but I wanted to finish getting everything set up because I'm technically not set up yet. It's a beautiful setup right here. What did I just click? Yeah. Triple equal lows down here. Let's log out of this and get set up on my... I want to cancel that, I think. You know, I think we could run to the Thursday's previous day high first. We'll see if it wants to do that. We got a breaker right here to the upside as well. Hey Tyler, how do you feel when you are on Hey Tyler, how do you feel when you trade an Apex account with Apex? Do you prefer trailing drawdown or end of day? Do I prefer trailing drawdown or end of day? Trailing drawdown. I think if I'm understanding your question correctly. Right now, what we're waiting for, guys, is we're waiting to see, for me, I want to see this level taken. Yes, you answered correctly. And why do you prefer that type of drawdown? Is it based on your trading style? No, I have a strict stop loss that I look for. Usually it's 10 handles. I don't like to lose more than 10 handles or $200 on a trade. Trying to figure out how high we may want to go here. We got an hourly, 30-minute. We got a 30-minute fair value gap. And then we have a 15-minute fair value gap in a swing high right here. Let's just see if we want to get through this swing high. And we may not. We may start selling off. Took a scalp off the second. Press fair value gap for the first one. 20 points. Way to go, J Money. Nice job. We're in a little bit of a consolidation. It doesn't look bad. We got these triple equal lows to the downside right here. That's what I would like to run into. I'm interested in taking shorts to the downside, but we've hit the level that I really wanted it to hit with the data lows. We hit the data lows, so we don't need to go higher. It's just kind of holding right now. So really, this inversion right here is our best short. That inversion is our best short right now. All right, I think I'm situated here. I'm going to be using this screen here. This screen I'll be taking here. All right, so we swept Thursday's high right there. That's kind of what I wanted to. Why did I want it? Because we didn't drop right away. I'm like, there has to be another upside target. And when we hit this breaker right here, beautiful hit, and we run the low and make equal lows, I'm like, okay, so what is our upside target that we need to run into before we start seeing a move lower? So it could have been this Thursday high. Also, I would be interested in that hitting. If we go to the 15-minute time frame, we got a 15-minute fair value gap, and this 15-minute, the unmitigated portion is right here. Now, I would consider most of this to be already mitigated with this price action over here. But how far up we want to go into it, I'm not quite sure quite yet. So if we drop down into the 5-minute, I mean, all of this technically is balanced. This can it's the data candle though. That's the thing about it. Am I missing something here? Did I lock? Okay, we got the 5-minute time frame down here. We're coming up into that 15-minute civvy. I'm really confused on why my screen right here is frozen. I'm going to restart my TradingView. All right, here's the move potentially that we're kind of looking for, is this displacement lower from after hitting this 15-minute time frame. I'm trying to refresh that. Still not showing up for me. The only reason I'm not going short yet is I need to make sure that we are in fact going to move lower and we don't move higher from here. I don't want to just jump and assume we've caught the top. We've hit buy side liquidity here. It's a place where we could see price move. We have a lot of movement to the downside that we can get here, so just being patient, waiting for that confirmation. I like this 1 minute right here. 67 to 87. Next thing that we want to see happen is this inversion right here. There we go. I got that working now. Targeting the equal lows first to see if we're going to take those equal lows or not. We got these beautiful equal lows, these relatively equal lows sitting over at 2 a.m. So we have a 2 a.m. London low that's sitting at 2 a.m. Would love to see if we can reach for those. We really need to get through this inversion right there. Might get stopped out here. For my funded account, I will be looking to take a short when we inverse this to the equal lows. If it will give it to us. Alright, got stopped out on my small account challenge. Not a bad trade. I don't regret taking that. Yeah, I don't think I would take a long, J Money, personally for me. I'm not interested in trying to take a long right now. If you look at the London lows over here, we got these nice London lows. Nice and smooth. That's really where I want to see price run. It just apparently I was a little early. So we just got to be a little more patient. If you look at the 5 minute, it doesn't look pretty right here. If you guys can do me a solid, let's hit that like button for me. I really appreciate it. If you appreciate the on-screen trades, analysis, all the good stuff there. ES is coming up into a breaker right now as well. Here's ES's breaker. This is on the 15 minute. Appreciate it, MR. So this is the data candle from, I think that was from Friday. That's just insane. I'm putting on my new week opening gap here. ICT is saying that the inversion needs to stay the premium. Yeah, so basically if we fail this, basically, why does it keep doing that? Basically, if we run below this, we are running lower. That's what I'm hearing what you're saying, Ted. This first fair value gap is what's holding price up. As soon as we close below this, it's done for. And, I mean, I personally think that, and that's why I went short here to the downside, because we hit buy-side liquidity, Thursday's previous day high again, 15-minute fair value gap, and we started selling off. I was hoping that we were going to get that in this move right here. Why? All right, so 10 o'clock right now. So let's check out the hourly candle here. We just about came up to the midpoint of the consequent encroachment of that hourly fair value gap. That blue line sitting right here. We're going to move that out of the way because I really don't care about that right now. We have a new 4-hour candle. If we have a new 4-hour candle and we sweep this high, that would be interesting. This, if we do see lower prices, this is the wick. So when we consider power of 3 or AMD, what everybody talks about, this is where you want to go short. This is where you'd want your entry to be, above the previous 4-hour candle's high, which this is the high of that 4-hour candle. So we are now in wick status potentially if we do in fact drop. So in my mind, what I'm doing is looking at this going, all right, where's my opportunity to go short? Obviously, you just can't hit short, hit the sell button right here and assume that it's just going to drop for you. That it just doesn't work that way. So we're trying to watch the market to give us any type of indication that it wants to start selling off. And it may be right now, maybe be an hour, maybe towards the end of the 4-hour candle. So we're just waiting to see, are we going to get an SMT here? And ES is looking completely different than NQ right now. Hang on, let me run that. Let's try that again. So we don't have an SMT here. But we are in a 4-hour wick potential right here. And we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 4-hour candles in a row. No, we're on the 5th. So 4 closed 4-hour candles. And all my downside targets are to the downside. I mean, all the targets are to the downside. If you look at the daily, I mean, that's just insane. Can you imagine us opening down here and then running all the way up and grabbing that high? That doesn't, the probability of that is so low. So that just doesn't make sense in my book. So it's a matter of how high do we want to go on this daily. All right, so we are pushing higher. This isn't the high that we're talking about. That's the candle from the Thursday, February 6th. Here's our consequent encroachment of the 15-minute fair value gap. I still don't regret taking that first trade to the downside right here when we ran the buy side right here and we started seeing this price leg. I don't regret that. That to me is a legitimate setup. It hits all of my criteria. We have a key level being tagged. We see displacement to the downside twice even. We have an inversion right here. We closed below it and we satisfied that inversion to the downside right here. I just wanted to hold it for these equal lows and for even more price action lower. It just didn't give that to us. The first fair value gap held and now we're moving higher. So for me, what it's telling me is I need to be in a holding pattern unless I'm bullish. If you're bullish, then you find a trade to go long. I'm not bullish, so I'm not looking for a trade to go long. Here would be a breaker for a bullish breaker if you wanted to go up higher, but what's your upside target? I don't know. We're inside a 15-minute SIBI right now. We're inside an hourly SIBI right now. We're hitting another potential hourly breaker. We're at the consequent encroachment of the 15-minute. We're inside the new day opening gap high. There's too many things in my mind that are saying this at any moment could start running the other direction. So we sit on our hands and we just wait for the clarity of that type of move. We tried it earlier. We took a loss. So we wait. And if it wants to just run higher, then it's going to run higher and we sit and wait. We got a volume imbalance on ES that we're just about reaching on the daily. I'll show that here. Here's the daily chart. And there is a volume imbalance sitting between Thursday and Friday's candle that we could be reaching for. Yeah, playing the downside. I mean, this is why, yeah. To me, that's the obvious level. Now, the only thing I'll add to that, for me personally, is that there may be an opportunity to see this as our accumulation, manipulation, and then distribution. So there could be an opportunity up here towards that first fair value gap. Here's our wick into the consequent encroachment of the 15-minute SIBI. Yeah, I don't have anything that ICT is saying right now. And unless we roll over right here, we're probably going to be here till 11 o'clock. Yeah, I have Friday's new day opening gap sitting right there as well. ES looks like it wants to roll over. I don't think I marked midnight open. Look at that price action through midnight open, creating the London low, and then we've just pushed higher. Yeah, midnight was the trip lows. Now we do the hardest part in trading, folks. We sit and we do nothing. We refuse to take trades because the narrative isn't giving us clear indication on its direction. And there's not a clear upside target. Until that upside target becomes clear, I won't take an upside target. The downside is just abundantly more attractive. Previous week high. That goes into the realm of less than a 11% chance So here's our daily, or here's the daily time frame. Okay. I mean, we're not missing anything here. So let me just make this clear. So let me remove the distractions. Okay. So probabilities are on us running a previous day high or low is a 77% chance that we run a high or a low. Well, we opened below this candle's low right here. And we have not reached that high. So the fact that we run into that previous day low negates, basically satisfies that probability of 77% chance that we run a previous day low like we do here. Now there's a 11% chance that we run that level. I'm not going to take my trade based on an 11% odds unless it becomes obvious. And the obvious is going to be aggressive displacement, not this slow progressive move that we're seeing where it's just inching its way higher. I'm not interested in that. We've seen all this stuff happen before, and then all of a sudden we've seen massive drops. So I'm not sure. It could be. It's just, if it's going to do that, T-Loft, it's going to do it without me. It's pretty quiet, folks. It's pretty quiet. There's not much. I mean, this is what trading, most of trading is just sitting here doing nothing. Unless you guys got questions or you want to talk about something. I'm going to put on a little bit of background beats. I see it very interesting that we're respecting the consequent encroachments. The bodies are respecting the new day opening gap from Friday. And we're kind of just hanging out here for right now. Is it right at the 1.5 standard deviation of the open range? What is at the 1.5 standard deviation of the opening range? From Friday? Yeah, from Friday's range. Hello, I have two 250K Apex evals sitting for a year in eval. Any help to get a payout? ASAP. So you've had, let me make sure I got it right, Maverick. You've had 250K, or you've had two 250K evals sitting in eval status for a year. Do I got that right? Yes, sir. Okay. So first off, if they've been sitting for a year, you're now paying. You've been paying their 50. Is it 50% off on the? If you have an 250K eval, somebody help me on what is your monthly cost on that? Not the initial year. It's, you got it on 90%, but every month after that it's not 90%. Every month following that you're paying $30. Okay. So you're paying $30 to keep that account. And the payout area, or to pass the account, you got to make $7,500. Is that the number? So the 15,000. Okay. So yeah, the issue is being afraid to trade, and the large amount is requiring you to be sensitive to taking the risk that's needed. So the first thing that I probably would do is go ahead and close both the eval accounts. I would either take one of them. I would do one of two things: just close them, or actually take the trades and risk losing them. Because $15,000 is a huge amount. So I can make 15. By the time I make $15,000 on a 50K account, I'll have passed my eval, past the second stage in my funded account, and then would have gotten paid out about $9,000 by the time you passed your first eval account with 15K. All right, so we got some displacement higher here. Not the direction I want to see. What I'm trying to say is that your 250K account is hurting you more than helping you. So I would get rid of it. So how would I get rid of it? I would make up a decision in my mind that I'm going to trade my model, not gamble. I'm going to trade my model, and I'm going to trade with the appropriate size, appropriate for this account. So for that, I would probably say it's 2 mini contracts. So you're only going to trade your model. You're going to decide what your model is. You're going to decide what your risk is. It shouldn't be more than $400. Okay, $400 is your risk. That turns into 10 handles for two mini contracts. Okay, and then you're going to set a standard target of 10 handles, 20 handles. You decide what you want, whether it's a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 risk to reward. And then you're going to take the trade, and you're not going to close the trade until it closes itself by hitting your stop loss or hitting your take profit. You got to get outside of being scared and letting that sit there. So you can't gamble. I'm not telling you to gamble, but how I would close your account, you're going to find out if you really do have a profitable model by trading it. That's what you're going to do with these accounts. Okay? And Ryan's not wrong. You need to be okay with taking a loss. That's the point, is you set the stop loss at 10 handles. You take your trade, whether it's a breaker, an inversion, or whatever it's going to be, and you take the trade. Ryan, the fact is, you will fail, and learn how to fail is very important. That is true. And it's your ability to get back up. It's your ability to get back up when you failed. There's a book that I recommend to everybody on here, and for you, Maverick, it's called Failing Forward by John Maxwell. I've listened to it multiple times at this point. Multiple chapters. I'm having my kids listen to it. Failing Forward by John Maxwell. It was suggested by a friend on stream, Hank. He came on stream one time, and he recommended it, and I like John Maxwell, so I listened to it. Fantastic book. You got to be able to get past that point of avoiding blowing an account. Now, you don't want to get to the point where you're gambling, and your gambling trades causing you to fail and blow accounts. We're talking about taking proper trades, proper models, proper risk to reward, and taking the risk and letting the trade play out to see if you're right or wrong. Now, you got to add one more step to that, though. Once you have that trade, once you see the results, whether it's a win or a loss, you're going to learn more from your losses than you will from your wins. You're going to learn more from your losses than you will from your wins. So every time you have a loss, you have to be willing to look at what you did right and what you did wrong. Did you see the proper setup? Did you not see the proper setup? Was it really there or not? Did I rush into the trade and get a horrible entry? Or did I hesitate too long because I was scared and it stopped me out because of that? You have to review every single one of your losses if you really want to make progress. And losses are your best learners. Losses are your best way to, and your fastest way to learn. But when I lost, I remember when I started trading and I took losses, man, it's like I deleted them from my mind and I moved on. And honestly, that caused me a huge delay in my progress as a trader, because I wasn't willing to take a hard look at what needed to be looked at. My losses. You know, everybody likes to look at their wins. Look at that trade. Look at that 70-handle win that I had on Friday. Woo! I had a 70-handle win. It was nice. But even in my small account challenge that I've been doing, my lessons and my progress, I've learned more from my losses than I have from those 70-point wins. So that's what I would do, Maverick. That's how I would approach this. And if you're like, no, I want to keep those eval accounts and I really want to try to pass them, fail forward, not fall forward, fail. Fail forward. But if you want to keep those accounts, then you need to go to a demo and you need to start learning your model so you can really take those trades properly. But ultimately, you're going to have to get past that fear of losing that account. Because technically, here's my view of it. Technically, you've already lost 12 accounts. Times 2. Every time you pay a monthly subscription because you're afraid to trade, you are failing that account. It should not take more than a month to pass an eval account, especially a lower sized account. And I'm not a fan of the 250 accounts. I think Ryan has a couple of 250 accounts, but I'm not a fan of them. I mean, by the time like I told you, by the time you pass your $15,000 level, I can pass an eval, get past my $3,000 buffer, level on my funded account and get $9,000 in payouts. Got it, Ryan. What'd you guys think of that Super Bowl? Pfft. Disappointing. Well, you should have watched it. It's disappointing. Chiefs need they need a line. They need a offensive line, man. They got nothing if they got no offensive line. They got destroyed. You were in the Lord's presence. So was I. Hey, Brian. Well, congratulations. You guys deserved that. You guys crushed it. Yeah, I know. We had a nice little jump of people on here. Jumped up to about 60 people, but when you have absolutely nothing to trade, you know, people start falling off. There'll be a trade here, folks. It's just we have to wait for it. I mean, honestly, do you want to trade in that? Do you really want to trade in that right there? Where's your entry? Where's your model? Where's the entry and model in any of this? There is none. Maybe right here. But at this point, I was still looking for shorts, so I'm not going to take that. Yeah, I'm not taking a breakout trade to the upside after we've ran 500, 400 points to the upside. What's up, Viking? How you doing? 21,968. Is that my previous day high? That's the previous day high. And that's the previous week high. I'm not interested in that. I mean, it could do it. ES has just filled the daily volume imbalance. And if anything, why don't we drop a... let's drop a line on the wick. And that wick has a consequent encroachment at 893. Let's see if it wants to stay in the lower portion of this. If we get above here and we find support above 893, Ted, that's when I think I would start considering a move towards the previous week high. But if we stay in the discount portion of this wick, I'm not interested in anything. So the way I would see that is we get above Thursday's previous day high, which is sitting here. And if we find support in that, it doesn't mean we can't go lower. Maybe if it does something like that, I'm okay. But it would really need to do something like this to prove to me that it really is being that aggressive and running towards those highs. Brings back memories. Which one, Ryan? Just kidding. I don't know what you were kidding about. Going to church on Saturday night? Oh, the breakout model. Oh, man. Yeah, I ain't doing that, no. I mean, technically, sometimes we are taking breakouts. I'll never do that kind of trading again. I still don't know how he makes money. More than likely, guys, the move lower, if we get that move, it's going to be aggressive. We have all of this liquidity. We might get a little bump right here, and then we got a lot of liquidity. I don't know if you called this on Friday, but I was reviewing the price action on that massive drop, and it just wicked above the previous week's high by, yes, no. I took that trade, Ted. We took that trade to the downside. No, I didn't get in that trade initially. We didn't get into that trade initially, but we did end up getting 70 handles from it. But yes, it just, that previous week high is a beautiful level to keep an eye on. Ryan, have you taken any trades yet? I don't see any on it. Maybe you took the one that I took to the downside. Maybe you closed it and I didn't close it. You took a 2-minute short. Oh, so I'm assuming it's the same spot here. Right here. Yeah, I took the 1-minute short. And I didn't close it. I mean, look at this, folks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 5-minute green candles in a row. I'm just going to go short now. Because you will get a retracement. Look what that CE of the wick. Guys, look at this. The exact middle of the wick on the daily is the top of this 15-minute fair value gap. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? That's just how things do that. It just blows my mind. We also have 930 price sitting right here. Let's mark that out and let's see what we got here. That wouldn't surprise me either, folks. Is once we hit 930, the 930 level from Friday's range, that wouldn't surprise me. You know, the one thing I did forget about is Friday's equilibrium range. Finding out where that was. I wonder if we hit it prior to... Yeah, we hit it pre-market. Interesting. So here's this red line is the equilibrium of Friday's range, and it's the exact middle of the first fair value gap. I mean, this is algorithmic. If you weren't convinced of algorithms and algorithms moving and controlling the market, I'm just showing you two levels of perfect overlapping levels that should prove that to you. We got the wick, the consequent encroachment of the wick is the exact level for the high of the 15-minute. And we got the exact middle of Friday's range is the exact middle of our first fair value gap. I tell you what. So that's kind of, I think that's what I'm gonna wait for. Is I'm gonna wait for 9:30 and or the wick, less about the consequent encroachment of the wick, but more about 9:30. I want to see what we do at 9:30 here. And we're coming up to the macro too. All right, so there's 9:30. I kind of want to just take a short just to see what happens. I am going to take a short. Let's see. Denied at effect 5 market orders. What did it not take? Okay. Alright, so I told you guys that I was going to take this short. Stops at break even, and I'm going to let it sit here. It can stop me out. I mean, this is not a model of mine. So this is just a free trade. Hey Tyler, just jumped on. How's the day going for you? Judas Joe, what's up? Hey, we just took a short, not based on any model, just based on that we ran and hit 930. And it gave us 10 handles, but I just moved it to break even to see if it would go any longer for me. But we just got stopped out. So we're just waiting for price to give us an indication that it wants to begin to move the other direction. That candle right here is not very convincing of a strong move higher. Another tag at 930. Okay, why did that not go? Let's find out here. Can you please explain the 930 level? I have nothing at 930 today. Yeah, this is from Friday's. This is 930's level from Friday. That was opening price from Friday. And if you look at it, let's go all the way over there. Look what happens. This is where we opened at 930 on Friday. And we went higher, hit the previous week high, and then we just collapsed. So I just like leaving them on there, and I've seen price respect 930 before. So that's why I'm like, hey, let's take a quick short, see what happens. But look what we just wicked up into now. We wicked up into the consequent encroachment of that daily wick. Okay, so two levels that I've been keeping an eye on for upside targets, not because I want to trade them, but because I want to go short. So now I'm looking for an opportunity that tells me price wants to move lower. And that's going to come in the form of displacement. Once price starts displacing and moving the other direction, that's going to give our indication. And to be honest, we probably want to wait for a 5-minute. I don't know if we want to wait for a 5-minute or not. But look at that candle right there. Little wick. I would say it's a bearish. It's a bearish order block, that 930 candle. If you look at, go down to like, where are we at, the 15-minute? Look at the 15-minute. That would be a bearish order block from that 15-minute candle. Do you see that? Right here. 15-minute order block. That candle right there, that's 930 opening price. And there's a breaker there too. All right, so we're at 1150 or 1050. Oh, are you talking about this breaker right here, Ted? From Friday, I got you. All right, we're going to have a market structure shift right here in a second. This is the first indication that price is running the other direction. As soon as we wick below that. Okay, so we haven't ran it yet. What does that mean? Higher prices still to come. Now we could just drop right here and run it. That's fine. But we don't want to be bearish until we see this low broken, I should say. I'm watching ES. I have it set on the 5-minute chart. We do got a 5-minute fair value gap that it could reach for, but that's still a little bit of ways off. And a 15-minute. Let's mark that. This is what I'm looking at on ES if we can get it. It's this level right here. So if we can reach for that level after we've displaced lower on NQ, that could be the entry for the breaker. So that level on ES is 6,096.75. All right, so there's the market structure shift. The next would be the next indication would be a change in state of delivery, which we should get that in the next 1 minute on the 5-minute chart. We'll see a 5-minute change in state of delivery. And so that would give us even more confidence that we're moving lower. And then we just look for our entry mechanism. In this form, it looks better for a breaker. You could early tag it right now and go short on that breaker, which looks attractive. I think I'm going to do that. So that means 669. So 79 would be my stop. And this would just be for a quick scalp if it wants to give us the quick scalp. Meaning we target levels like here and here. So we just did get a 5-minute change in state of delivery, and that's our rebalance right there. This is the 5-minute change in state of delivery right here. I'm risking $100 on this trade. We got 4 minutes left before we hit 11 o'clock. We're going to target one standard deviation from the manipulation leg to see if it will give it that to us. So this level, this level here, this manipulation leg, we're going to see if that wants to give us one standard deviation, which comes down to right here. So let's see if it wants to give that to us. 79. I'm willing to go $150 on this. For a stop loss. Account size, I'm trading at 50K accounts. ES tried to wick up there. It didn't reach. ES just collapsed its attempt to reach that level. We're looking at 28 handles from entry to target. Let's see, it looks like it's trying again. I might get stopped out here. Yeah, ES is really trying to reach for that that high. That doesn't look good. All right, stopped out there. Which inversion did you take that entry? I took a breaker, not an inversion. All right, so here over, if I show you guys over here, this is what ES was doing over here. It was trying to reach for this level that we marked, and it hasn't reached it yet. So I think while I still think I'm right, I just want to see if it's going to try to reach this again. It looks like it now it wants to fail. So if I got maybe swiped out on that. We'll look for a re-entry. We'll see how this plays out before I analyze my trade. Because I took a short about here. And it stopped me out by 1.5 handles. We'll see if it wants to run higher or if it continues to roll over. Because the only logical response would have been to set your stop at the wick high if you want to be really conservative. Two-minute inversion to the upside? No. I wouldn't do that. Personally, I'm not. We hit too many significant levels for me to say, oh yeah, we might have a higher target. We filled in the 15-minute. We wicked the middle of the daily wick. We ran into 930 and stopped from Friday, and we're on Thursday's previous day high. I'm not taking it long. I wish I didn't get stopped out by 1.5 handles, to be honest, because the short's probably going to play out here. Yeah, I got stopped out by 1.5 handles. ES does not look like it's trying to reach for that level anymore. We'll see what it does at this order block. Technically, that inversion, that 2-minute inversion you're calling out is ICT's model 2022 to the downside. We'll see if it actually runs or not. It may stay in this consolidation. If it is, we'll take our loss for today and walk away. 150, is that what I lost? Yeah, $170. That slush trade I took off of the 930 level would have gave me a winner. We might have to wait all the way till noon today. And if that's the case, I probably won't stream till then. Yeah, maybe I should have set my stop loss above that 930 level. I set it right below it. Nice job, J. Kim. That looks inviting to short right there with that wick candle. I think the lesson for me is I needed a slightly larger stop loss. I had the appropriate size. I could have went 20 handle stop loss and I would have still be in this with 5 contracts. But I'm not afraid of it. If it came back up to this order block, this 1 minute order block in line with this breaker, I'm not afraid to take that again. Because we just made equal lows right here. Technically, we swept it by a tick. Give me another push here. I might take this. I'll be looking at this as my relative entry, the market structure shift level. Let's see what happens here. If it keeps going, I'm going to wait. And I'm just going to take it on the first expression here. I want to see if it's just a wick and it rolls over right here. I don't know what TS. What does TS stand for? Oh, turtle soup. No, I can't do that. I turtle soup the 930 model, gave me 10 handles to the downside. I'm just not interested in longs. Then take it. Go. Go long. Shoot the moon. Look how we didn't quite respect the breaker, so I'm sitting here waiting. We went into the mean threshold of this order block. Same with this order block here, so I can't take anything short off of that. Are you in it? Are you in it, J Kim? You gonna take that long? Full port. All right, Ted. See you, man. You trade turtle soups. Awesome. I'm going to take this inversion here if it closes. Nope. So no entry on that inversion yet. Well, I appreciate you come checking us out, J Kim. I don't like all this consolidation. It makes every future short less attractive. Honestly, it would look better if we make a new higher high and then run lower. We're about out of the 11 a.m. macro, so more than likely I'm not going to take another trade. That's a great point right there. All right, we are going to call it a day here, folks. We are technically 0 for 2. I took one trade on my small account challenge that I'm doing way down here for the short. Beautiful setup, hit liquidity, had an inversion, stopped at the first fair value gap, and then we didn't take anything else. We did took a fun break-even trade right here. Oh, now we're getting displacement lower. And then we took our breaker, which we got stopped out. We took our breaker, which we got stopped out by 1.5 ticks, which would be in profit right now by 10 handles. So we're going to call it a day there, folks. We'll be back here again tomorrow. Actually, we may not be back tomorrow. I'll send a message on YouTube. But for sure Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So you guys stay safe, take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.